Let's talk retail investor relations. This is a hot topic for a lot of IROs and IR teams over the last several years as investing has become more ubiquitous with Robinhood and Kathy Wood and ARK Invest. And just, through COVID, we've seen a greater push towards the retail along with passive investing. It's just made retail more interesting. So let's think about this, because I actually think companies believe this is just a really easy thing to do and just check the box and we'll have the lowest person on the team do the retail outreach. And in my view, it actually requires the strongest player on the IR team to do the retail outreach. And there's three reasons why. And the first one is downside risk. The second one is that retail requires sophisticated thinking. And the third and most important is this idea of mechanisms for conflict resolution. So let's get into this idea of downside risk. You have to worry about not only corporate reputation, but personal reputation to the IRO and the executive team when you're dealing with retail investors. And a key consideration here is this idea of professionalism versus emotion. And when it comes to institutional investors, there's a line that they cannot cross without getting reputational damage. And so therefore their interactions are going to be professional, even though they might be charged with emotion. Retail is very different. They are able to benefit from the ultimate cloak of anonymity in many instances, and therefore they do not have a line that they have to worry about crossing in terms of demanding satisfaction if they lose money in a significant crisis by investing in your company. And so that gets us to this idea of the need for sophisticated thinking. And retail investor relations is truly more than just IR and giving people numbers. You're entering the realm of social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever, where people have the ultimate cloak of anonymity and can say what they want without repercussions. They are not going to get attacked by the SEC. They don't have professional reputations to defend. They're going to stop at nothing to get that satisfaction. And then the other piece here is why this is sophisticated retail is you get pin action that you may not want anything to do with if you're the IRO. And think of it, if you're a biotech, you may have to start adjudicating off-label claims that investors are making that the FDA is going to come after you for. That's not something investor relations wants to deal with. I don't want to be in the business of having to adjudicate off-label claims on my drugs. And so that gets us to this idea of mechanisms for conflict resolution. Professional institutional investors have mechanisms for conflict resolution. If they cross a certain line, there is professional reputational damage to them and their investment firm. If they want to get satisfaction, they will go activist or follow a prescriptive set of rules and regulations to get the outcome they need and deserve or desire. Now, if you're a retail investor, there's no line. You can do whatever you want. And retail investors will stalk you and they will dox you if they get caught up in a crisis where they've lost $100,000 that they couldn't lose on some sexy biotech drug that's trying to solve breast cancer. And this is where if you're a large public company or just a public company with a strong reputation, you need to figure out first, how do I impose mechanisms of conflict resolution so that I can properly control retail investors before I go whole hog and decide that I will just talk to anyone and everyone in retail investor land. And the other piece that I haven't even talked about is this idea that, yes, retail is large and there's a lot of people, but it is hard to get changes in stock price at times by talking to retail. They're not moving the same amounts of money at times as, say, a large institutional investor. And again, this is the bottom line. Anonymity is not your friend as an IRO, and you have to do everything you can to disarm a retail investor's ability to use the cloak of anonymity against you and against your company. Thanks for watching.